This is Worley with 757 Woofer Show. We are coming live here on Wednesday night with a big echo in my voice. Hopefully you all can't hear it. But I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. This echo, I hope y'all can hear that echo. It isn't distracting. But anyway, this is with Worley's Services. You do heat in there, home building, Encapsulation, and heat elements. Yeah, this is gonna be a little short here. David, I don't know if you could hear you.
I'm Michael Nev. That was PVC windows and doors. My partner and I own business. We manufacture windows, and we do that right here in Newport News. We are the only local window manufacturer in the area. We do also Provia doors and Therma-Tru doors as well. And I'm going to introduce Albin out of Albin Co. Albin is a premier builder. He does kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels. He'll build a new house. He will do a room addition, and he'll take your old farmhouse like he did for Chuck, and he will build you a new house inside that old frame.
Yeah.
And I am Cindy Rao, owner-operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. We are a full-service termite and moisture company. We do inspections for real estate when people are buying and selling their homes, termite treatments, fungus treatments, crawl space repairs, moisture barriers. If it creeps or crawls, I can come get it for you. And keep in mind, I'm the only woman you know and licensed to kill.
That is Pest. That is Pest.
Boy, there's the husband or two. Oh, we got Jack Keller too.
Yeah, so we got a big Jack with Legacy Paint, and he's our young buck of the group, and he keeps us young.
Yeah,
yeah. I do want to thank Mike for stopping that echo in the background. Great job, Mike.
Yep.
It was a bit distracting. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but basically we would say something and then we'd hear it
again and again.
So gotta love this technical stuff. So we hire our smart people around us, right? But so I know one of the first things I wanted to talk about was, has anybody swim in a street near you?
No, but I have in some crawl spaces.
It has been ridiculous this week. What's the number up to? Is it is it up to 10 or 11 houses in Outer Banks?
Eight so far.
8 at one time.
No, it was a total of 8. It was
Was that all?
when I was there last weekend. But this in Rodanthe is where we travel to normally, and this week the water was a foot deep all over the campsite. It was just and the sand dune that was 20 feet tall is no longer there.
Well, I just pray that everybody is safe and everybody made it through the northeastern. Hopefully this water is still rescinding, I think. So, but I want to remind you guys what we do here tonight. We are the 757 House Whisperer. I am Chuck Worley. I am the founder of the show, and I am a building science geek. I have been fixing homes for 20 plus years, 30 years almost. And I love fixing houses, from the crawl space to the roofs to the siding, windows, just kind of the whole house as a system. I've always thought about houses and what makes them tick. Like okay, is this really the problem that they're having, or is it symptom of something else causing this problem that they're having? And trying to come up with the right solution to saying, hey, look, it might not be your sweaty ductwork. It might be your crawl space is 105 degrees with 90% humidity, so kind of looking at whole houses as a system. And anyway, that's I want to tell you guys, we are here for you tonight to answer any questions that you might have. 627-7979. That is 627-7979. Call in with any problems with your house.
We can answer all of those problems.
Yeah.
Between the three of us, there's a vast amount of knowledge and more years than you could imagine behind us and what we do.
Yeah. So call in tonight, 627-7979. We got the best control person in the 757 here. We got the window and door guy with Big Mike. And me, I do pretty much everything else: heating and air, electrical, plumbing, crawl space stuff. But I did want to make sure that we told everybody that we are praying for anybody, any situations that anybody is having with all this extra water. It has just been a nightmare. I have not heard about any deaths. I know there are some cars that are being replaced this week.
Yeah.
A friend of mine sent a thing on Facebook. He lives down in Norfolk. He said, "Oops, somebody is not happy about their Jeep," and it was like all you could see was like the roll bar. And I was like, or maybe he is, because he's going to get a new one this week.
Well, there was a guy that we're getting ready to do some windows for, Curtis Donovan, on Big Bethel Road. Known Curtis over 30 years. And you can't even see water any remotely near his house. And the water was up in his front yard surrounding the front part of his house like a little lake. When I went by, Game and Inland Fisheries was there, wanted to stock the pond for him. He told him it'd be dry when the storm went away. But I mean, I've seen water come up where I never have seen it come up before. And so, you don't know when they tell you do not drive through standing water. It's not because they're trying to be difficult. They're trying to save you from a lot of expense and possible death. You don't know.
I had flooding in Smithfield too.
I got a funny, not funny, couple, probably 2 or 3 years ago, we had hired a technician, and he was not the greatest technician, but it takes, it's like dating, people say they're great and then you find out they're not. And anyway, the guy was,
You've got to let him go, man.
I was driving a truck, brand new, like this thing did not have 20,000 miles on this vehicle. And he goes, "Yeah, I ran into a puddle and it won't start." So I sent it over to the guy. He goes, "Hey, when I have water coming out of the heads of the engine."
Oh, man.
That's not a puddle, my brother. That is not a puddle. You and dumb self drove into a freaking lake, So anyway, yeah, funny, not funny, right? So new engine later. So anyway, we looks like we got our first call, and I want to remind you guys, call us about anything doing with your house. 627-7979. Call in. I've got a couple text messages from some customers this week about some problems that they have. And Cindy always has a funny pest story, whether it's chasing down snakes or, she makes them dance. She plays a flute and makes the snakes dance. And or who's the person with the flute that the rat followed him out of the city? What was that? Piper's. That's her, man. She gets rid of varmints. Let's go to Chappie in Newport News.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. You guys are great. I'm waiting for your podcast to come out. Give Joe Rogan a run for his money.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's coming, man. My next project. That is my next project. So, thank you for the coming blue.
Yeah, I would listen to it for sure. You guys are great, man. I got a weird question. So, I mean, I'm a carpenter, but I know to stay in my lane. I don't know anything about crawl spaces and all that. I mean, I know a little bit about the problems, but here's the thing: a couple of my neighbors, they have encapsulated crawl spaces, and then certain times of the year, their pumps or whatever, it's pumping a lot, because essentially what it is they have water that gathers in the back. There's no way for it to go up the back. They don't have French drains to the front. So I think essentially what it does is it pushes water up into the crawl space. And so all that water, I guess, either goes into the ground or it gets pumped out. So I'm curious, this might be a weird question. It's probably a dumb question, but do you ever have...
You got to start saying the dumb question, my friend.
Instead of a sump pump to get the water out of the crawl space, is there any ever situation where you have a French drain out of the crawl space? You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
When we do, we essentially, you could do French drains in your yard, miscellaneous
The crawl
papers,
spaces too. You can do it.
So I mean, we do. You've seen it. Us do it. So I basically do a French drain around the outside perimeter of the inside of the crawl space. So the perimeter. Am I saying that properly?
Yeah.
All right. So the perimeter of the inside of your crawl space.
Against the exterior wall.
So the exterior wall, but the inside of the exterior wall. I pretty much do a French drain on the inside of the perimeter of your crawl space. The 90% of the time, it's 100% around the house. Now, if you got like brick, dirt, like that hasn't been wet in 18 years, there's no reason to have a French drain there, right? But pretty much where it's loose and there's obviously moisture and problems, we dig that out and run a French drain and grade it to one corner. If it's not a big crawl basin, we sometimes we'll do 2 sump pumps, but basically we'll grade the French drain towards the sump pump, because obviously you can't French drain it out of your crawl because the crawl space is lower typically than the outside. So we'll French drain it to the lowest corner of the house, or the best corner of the house, right? And then we'll pump it out from there. There was one crawl space that we did in Virginia Beach. We call it the Missy Elliott neighborhood. It's that neighborhood. I can't remember the name of it, but she lived in there, had a house in there at one time in Virginia. Really, really nice, $1 million neighborhood. Y'all don't know what house. Yeah, I think it is Bay High. Yeah. So anyway, it's a really, really nice, but really, really wet area, right? So anyway, we ended up putting 4, I think it was 4, like on each corner of the house, because there was literally 17 inches of water under this house. The owner, we got called in. A friend of mine referred me in there, and he's like, this guy is just, he's got 14 people telling him 17 things. And he's like, just whether you get the job or not, can you just go help my friend? So I said, sure, absolutely. So I'll go over there, and I'm basically in a consulting mode because he had already decided he was doing this and that. And I'm like, that's fine, but this is what you should do. So anyway, we go under there. It is ridiculous amount of water under this house. I mean, it wasn't standing water. We were actually putting my hand on the sand, and it was like quicksand. It was so wet that I started to get nervous. And the sand, the sand was coming over my hand, and I'm not sketched out too much, but like when my hand got covered with sand after I put my hand in the sand, I got a little sketchy. Like, is this quicksand? Like, you see the movies, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm 280 pounds at the time. I'm like, am I going to sink in this place? So anyway, I go in about 25 feet, and I'm literally, so I find out the guy's trying to sell the house. It's a scumbag dude. This guy is not a character integrity guy. He paid some dude $5,000 to put 20 tons of sand under this house. Guess why he did that?
Because it was wet.
He's trying to hide the water.
He was hiding the water.
Yeah.
I said, by you putting in more sand does its job. It absorbs it. It doesn't get rid of it. It just covers it up. So the guy was trying to sell the house, and that's when I got involved. So I go in there, and I'm like, bro, it's some of the sand has to come out, and
you fix the symptom, but not the problem.
You fix the symptom, not the problem. So anyway, we saved this guy. I mean, it cost him a lot of money to get it all fixed. We put 4 sump pumps in, and we finally, like, it took a week to get all the water out of this crawl space. It was ridiculous, but I was so embarrassed. I mean, people suck, man. I get it. You're trying to sell the house, but he was a house flipper in $1 million neighborhood. Yeah. Like, I'm like, why is a house flipper in $1 million neighborhood?
And Chuck, you're absolutely right. That's exactly the way to do it. What you just said to do with the French drains. Yeah.
So 4 sumps. We had 4 sumps.
I'll see if he can hold on past the break, because there's some other things I'd like to write to him about it.
All right, Chappie, if you can hold on past the break, we got a couple minutes. Did you say 1 minute? All right, so so we'll introduce ourselves again on the way out, and then we'll come back in. I'm Chuck Worley with Worley Home Services.
I'm Michael Davenport. Barry Taylor and I are CVP Windows and Doors right here in Newport News.
I'm Cindy Brown, owner operator, Alpha Pest Solutions. We have Jack Keller, Legacy Painting.
And we got Alvin of Alvin Co. He is a remodeler, new house builder. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you in the future.
Hey, this is Chuck Worley with the 757 House Whisperer Show. We are coming to you live every Wednesday night from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You can listen to the radio show again on Spotify and podcasts. Just look up Chuck Worley or the 757 House Whisperer. We are all over that. So, thank you all for listening in every week. The phone number is 627-7979. We got a caller on hold, and we've got a couple lines open. So 757-627-7979. Definitely call in and ask any questions about problems with your house. The house is a system, and we have got a team of contractors here that basically can answer any questions or any problems that you might have with your home. So I will introduce myself and allow the co-hosts to introduce themselves. I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. We do heating and air, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulation, spray foam insulation.
My name is Michael Davenport. My partner and I, Barry Taylor, own CVP Windows and Doors. We're the only manufacturer of windows in the Hampton Roads area, and we also distribute Thor-Tru and Provia doors. And I'm also going to introduce Alvin of Alvin Co. Alvin is the guy on our team that does kitchens, does bathrooms, he does room additions, he does new homes. He can do it all. And he can even rebuild your old farmhouse like he did for my buddy Chuck.
Yep. That's Cindy Brown, owner operator of Alpha Pest Solutions, full service termite and moisture company. We do inspections when you're buying and selling your home. We do inspections for termites and fungus, and if anything else that might be going on in your house. Our inspections are always free. So if you have something going on, give us a call. We're happy to take a look at that. Also introducing Jack Keller, that's not with us tonight. He is owner of Legacy Painting, located in Yorktown. He does interior, exterior painting. He does staining of decks and fencing and that sort of thing too. And he does some drywall repair and painting and.
That's about it.
Yes, that's a great guy. He lives in painting.
Let's get back to Chappie. Thank you for holding on. We're gonna hook Chappie back up from Newport News.
Let me ask you a question, Chappie. Are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, buddy. Describe to me your property. Is it just tabletop flat, or does it have any contour lower in one, like the water running away in one direction or another?
Right. So honestly, that's a good question. So what it is it's fairly flat, but so there's an empty lot in the back of our row of houses. And the story goes, when they were built, somebody didn't pay up for a concrete culvert or whatever you call it. So what it is like my house and 3 other houses, our backyard, it drains to the back, but there's nowhere to go. So what happens is the back really can get bogged down when we have, not so much often, but when we get a lot of heavy rain that's sustained for, let's say, a few weeks, the backyards get really bogged down. And what happens is that I think the groundwater will push water up into the garage. It only happens like once every couple of years. But my thought was like, man, my guess is that it could probably use at least one French drain from the front to the back and from the back to the front. And I got to imagine the crawl space, obviously, it gets very moist because of that also. So I'm sure like a whole, somebody like, somebody that knows what they're doing. Like you say, the house is a whole system. You might call in a landscaper, but does he really have a really good idea of like everything that's going on?
But always use the example. My dad was a CB, and anybody in his military crew, the CBs, can do as their attitude, and they could do anything from plumbing to HVAC to I mean, they could build houses, right? So my dad always said, any man armed with a hammer treats everything as a nail, right? So when you call a duct guy, he's going to fix your crawl space and all the stuff under your house with his new ductwork. You call an insulation guy, he's got one tool bag, and that's a hammer, and he's going to fix all your problems with the insulation in the attic and the crawl space. You call a HVAC guy, he's going to fix everything. You call a pest control guy, they're going to fix, or gal, they're going to fix, sorry, Cindy, they're going to get, you're not used to that. I mean, you're only 99%, 1% if you're a trade, if that much, right? So my point is, you're going to call the landscaper, which I said, he's going to fix everything about your house by fixing your landscaping. So when you call somebody like us, like me especially, because I've got all the trades, I come in with a tool belt, and there's nothing that I cannot handle or have somebody that I can refer to you to handle. So that's one of the benefits of listening to our show, is that we're not coming out trying to sell you. We're trying to figure out what the problems are in the house, and then you're open to be able to find a solution for that. And yeah, you're 100% right. So for someone told me one time, they said, hey, do I need a drain, a French drain on the inside of my crawl or the outside of my crawl? Well, I don't do drains on the outside of the crawl. I do it on the inside, right? With salt vaults and all that. So I said, well, I need to look at the house before I can give you that answer. So he's like, well, the landscaper said it definitely needs to be on the outside of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping somebody would laugh at that. Yeah. It goes back to any man armed with a hammer. Yeah. Well, he's fixing what he can fix, right? And he's not looking at the house as a system or a whole. So it depends on the yard. If you got a freaking 45-degree yard, we had a house, $1 million plus house over in Suffolk, 10 acres, right on the water. And he literally, when I'm driving down to his house from his gate, which I'm telling you, 1,500 feet, like it was I got a long place. Like, yeah, I mean, it was a landing strip, and that sucker was 35% angle. The water hit that field, and I'm not kidding you. I think we ended up putting 5 or 6 salt pumps under this house.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was literally like, I don't know how the house is. Like it water came in the front and went out. And he had already spent $100,000 on the front of his house trying to stop the water. $100,000 trying to stop the water with French drains on the outside house. Now, I would have recommended that first because there's so much water coming from the yard, right? So, but it wasn't enough. He still had to have us put 4, 5, 6 sump. I think it was 6 sump pumps we put under that house. But it's, I mean, we've replaced a sump pump every 3 years over there. I mean, because we ended up putting bigger ones in. Like it, I mean, he built the house. He built the house.
The only way you can get the outside drain field to work is if you have fall off in your property that you can run something out so gravity will carry the water around there. To put one of those lines in outside of your foundation where there's no fall, the water's not going anywhere. You're going to get a bill for it. You're going to think something was done, but it really wasn't done. The only way to fix it when you got a flat level piece of property is to have someone come in like Chuck, go around the perimeter and put in plotted drain pipe, have a sump crock with a pump in it, and have a float operated switch so that thing comes on when it gets water in there and gets it out. The reason that you have the problem anyway, and I'm taking that you don't have it year round. That's correct, right, Chappie?
I would say last time I did it was maybe 2 years ago, coming up in the garage.
Okay, well, what you got is if that guy someone did not put in a piece of conduit pipe in the back of your properties of the 3 lots that you and your friends have, or what have you, if a proper piping wouldn't put in to carry water away from the area, and that water builds up through extensive rain, it saturates the ground, and Mother Earth will leach that water right up underneath your house. The sand in your crawl space should not be below the outside grade. That's a violation of a code requirement. And that is from 30 years ago, at least.
But they all are. I mean, that's not 90% of the crawls we go out.
So 90% of them shouldn't have been inspected and approved.
Well, the problem is, let's say, some people go in there and they fill the crawl space. I'm fat. There's not a lot of room under these houses. So by filling in the crawl space, you make it more narrow so chubby guys like me can't get in there. Skinny guys like you can.
That's where your type wide builder should
He's definitely,
stand. We got a 6-course foundation.
That's fantastic.
And we have brick running down below. We're putting fill.
Would you agree on a house that's 50 years old not to fill it with sand? So you got 14, you got 10 inches to crawl through. You can't do that. So yes, I understand it is code now, and these type builders need to do the right job and build the house like they built it for their wife, and not build it for them, to make money. You got to make money, right? I'm not against builders making money. What I'm against is cutting corners to make money, right? So it's raising the house one more brick costs $1,500, $2,000 more. Now it's $50,000 to do it later, So my point is that on these older houses, we're stuck with what we got. So we got to kind of work around that. So yeah, I agree with Mike saying it's the code. The problem is it's not applicable with a house that's been around 50 years. You can't fill the house with sand, and then chubby guys can't get in there. I would, and this is just my opinion. I mean, people may argue it, but I would rather have more room in my crawl space to move around, inspect it. I know the pest control people want more room under the house. I mean, nobody's going to dig it out. You are skinnier than me. So nobody's going to dig it out. I mean, I've had to do that. Have you ever had to dig underneath a duct system to go do an inspection? I mean, that sucks.
So you get underneath of it, like the shop light or something, to go to the next part of the crawl space?
You in my crawl space. Is there enough room in there, you guys? You got to have the house up high, or like Chuck said, you can't fix a silk purse to make a sow there out of silk purse. Because you can't add sand into crawl space to fix that problem, like Chuck said. The only solution is removing the water, and the only way is through drain tile, sump crock, and sump pump.
Yep.
There's no other way.
Sit up.
I wish it was easier, Chappie, but that's...
Yeah, so the question goes back to Chappie. Should I do it on the outside? Should I do it on the inside? The question is yes. Or the answer is yes. So it depends is really the answer. So there are situations that I have referred people to, hey, you need to work on the outside of the house because you just have too many issues. The land. So it could be, like the one I was telling you in Suffolk, beautiful house. I mean, this house was beautiful, right? Big, beautiful house. But I know he regrets building it there, but so in his case, he had to do both, right? So there are some cases that I would say, hey, look, let's look at the whole situation, not just, hey, I'm a landscaper. Do I need to put, the tile on the inside or the outside? Oh yeah, definitely the outside, because that's all he sells. He's not going in the crawl space. It's me, company like me, crawl space encapsulation company. Hey, let's just put it on the inside of the house. Well, maybe the outside is better for your. So you need to find somebody that you trust that can say, hey, look, there's a lot of variables, right? So I always think that eventually, if you do the outside, eventually it's coming inside, right? So if you do the inside, you're control. My goal is to control the space of the house, control the moisture in the house. So if I'm not sure, I want to spend money one time. I'm doing it on the inside of the house because what I have to do is control the humidity in the crawl to control the house. And the house is what we're trying to save. So I always go to, if I'm kind of 50-50, I would spend the money in the crawl space first. And I'm not saying that because I'm a crawl space guy, right? I'm saying it because if I do the outside, I'm still going to end up having to do the inside. That would suck. But if I do the inside, I'm controlling the house, right? Even if, eventually I may want to do the outside anyway. Hopefully I haven't double talked that. Hopefully I've made it clear that, it could be one or the other, but both, right? So yeah, I think that's a very
what like Chuck said, start with the inside. Now
Always start small. And then
unless you have an obvious problem, right? Like, I mean, if you have a landscape and how many yards we've been into that there's literally 6-inch ponds in the middle of the yard? Like, you got problems. Like, you're going to fix that.
Contractors back in the day when your house may have been built
Yes.
didn't have to deal with these problems, but the contractors today need to know where the water is going before they finish the foundation. The house, he got to have a drainage plan for that property or that house ever starts on top of it.
So yeah, Chappie, I appreciate the call, man. That was a great question. And I appreciate the kind words. If you do go to Spotify, you're bored one night, you want to listen to us, we are on Spotify. We're on all the podcasts. We re-record the show, or we what do you call it? Tape recording shows, or tape record. I am old. It's all digital now.
Chappie, Chuck can come out and take a look at your situation and give you an estimate on running the drain tile that I truly believe, as a builder of 52 years, it's the first stage of the solution.
Yeah. The people, when you're buying a house, think about where that house is located. If it's sitting down in a gully somewhere, you're going to have issues.
Not good.
Yeah. What do you say? Go if you're afraid of water being in your crawl space, you need to have somebody come out and inspect it, especially if you're buying a house. Home inspectors are great. Hopefully you get a good one that will come by and take a look. They should be able to tell if there's some issues, moisture or otherwise underneath the crawl space. You always want to protect your house, especially, I tell people all the time that most people that refer me are people that are buying the house because they are scared of what they're buying. The real estate people have stopped calling me if they're trying to sell a house because I'm not going to lie for them.
Yeah.
Right. So there are some character integrity realtors out there,
Yes.
But there are a few that are not. Right. So they'll call me, hey, man, can you just slide this in? Don't tell them about this. No, that's not me. Because the next time you run into me, and I'm talking about the realtor, the next time you run into me and you see me on the other side, you're going to be like, oh, I can't trust that guy because he did this for me. He didn't say something. So the problem with me is I'm going to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth, whether it hurts you or not. Yeah. Whether it hurts your feelings or not, I'm going to tell you what the house is doing, not what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what the problem is.
One thing, there's three things that happens when you buy your house and the bank inspector comes to look before you get your money. You got roof, you got HVAC in your windows. That's your big three. Well, it's not a crawl space inspection, but most appraisers don't go in the crawl space. And so you really need to be sure that crawl space is
Pretty appraisal.
Yeah. I mean, take a snapshot of what's.
I mean, people that have bought houses and then turn around spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 fixing the crawl space.
Well, fixing foundation.
Yeah, foundation.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's all.
Yeah, it's what happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but welcome to why we started the 757 House Whisperer show. It's to give you guys a solution to your issues in your house. We're honest, answering questions, whether you want to hear them or not, whether you want to hear the truth or not is up to you. We are going to tell you, this is your problem. These are the things that we see. This is what we don't see. This is what you need to do. I don't know. I feel like the more people that you serve, the more blessed that you will be. And I've been off and on the radio for 20 plus years, listening and trying to get back to our area, the 757, which I mean, I grew up in. I figured I got here in 6th grade, so I could claim it. So I'm 57 next week. So Definitely reach out to us on Facebook so you can register to come to my farm party this weekend. You got to register so we know how many people are going to be there. But we are raising. Last year we raised 1,405 pounds for the Peninsula Food Bank. This year we're raising food for the Five Loaves Food Pantry, which this guy is an amazing. He's like Friar Tuck. He looks like Friar Tuck. He's got the robe and all. It's Tim Lucan is phenomenal. I love me some Friar. I love me some Friar. I love me some Tim Lucan. His heart is so huge for helping people and feeding our community. We have supported him since day one of Worley's Home Services. It is the first. We support him weekly since the first day we were in business. And that is probably our first ministry that we have supported. 10% of our net profits go to ministries and charities in our area because we believe in giving back to our area code. So I will tell you, it's going to be fun. So look it up on Facebook. Of course, Chuck Worley or 757 House Whisperer. The Worley's Home Services homepage has it posted on there. Oh, please, what I'm saying is we got Fear, we got Mark Dunn playing. He's played every single year. It's our 8th annual. It's a customer appreciation. 757 House Whisperer listeners, everybody but registered online so we know how much food. Oyster roast, Brunswick stew. It is going to, I got a fire pit you can throw pallets into. Hey, not husbands, pallets into. So we are going to have a good time with you or without you. But go to Facebook, register to come, and it's in Yorktown, Virginia, at my 5-acre farm. So I'm going to introduce myself on the way out. I am Chuck Worley, the founder of the 757 House Whisperers Show and owner of Worley's Home Services.
I'm Michael Davenport. My partner and I own CVP Windows and Doors. We're the only window manufacturer in Hampton Roads. You can call us at 757-887-3194. Alvin of Alvin Co. is the only builder on our team. He can do kitchens, bathrooms. He can do room additions, and he can do new houses.
And I'm Cindy, your owner operator, Encapsulations, full service termite and moisture company, serving the 757 plus area, go up to Richmond and down to the Carolina border, and out to Petersburg and past Saluda. Then we got Jack Keller, Legacy Painting, interior, exterior painting, standing of decks and fences, and drywall repairs.
Great job, he does. Mm-hmm. See you guys next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.